911. Stool softener? Blood test.
Cancer, whatever.
Suzanne, quick, go to medical school.
I'm sick. This weekend, back in the hospital.
You went back in the
I
hospital?
had to go back in.
For what?
On Saturday, right after I talked to you, Q.
Right.
I was just sitting on the couch and I started getting like these abdominal pains. And, Suzanne looked up on the internet because I was like, what do you think it is? Like, I assumed that it's something to do with the hiatal hernia. And she said, well, maybe a piece of food got caught in. So you got to sit there and like push down to like, I guess,
never did this before.
try to work it through. Never. Yeah. And it was uncomfortable, but it wasn't.
Who did the pushing?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just like laying there like a blob. I'm like, push my food down, Suzanne. Work it through. And I did it for like 15 minutes and it went away. And then around 10 o'clock.
Do you have to chew better?
It started to come back. No, because I've been making a point to like really chew everything. But you know what I did do is like as I was eating, I was bending over and I was like leaning forward and I was reading shit on the computer. So I was like, maybe that could have been it. But around 10 o'clock, it came back and it started getting progressively worse to the point where I'm like, I was like, I wonder, I might be having a heart attack. Because the tightness, like it wasn't in my chest, like the upper part. It was like right in your breadbasket. Felt like somebody jabbed me in my breadbasket. It was getting so tight that I couldn't move and just like would sit straight up. If I tried to lay down, it was fucking excruciating. Like I couldn't breathe. So, I was going to go to the hospital, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to do this. I just got out and I was going to drive myself there, but it was so painful and I was getting lightheaded. We actually had to call the ambulance.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like I got hauled away in the ambulance and they gave me oxygen. And on the way there, it was just like they're doing all the blood pressure and all this other shit because most likely you're not having a heart attack, but that's what it feels like. So getting to the hospital, they put me in the ER right away. Immediately they start doing tests and shit. And we're sitting there for hours and hours and hours. And it seemed like it was like sort of going away. The doctor comes in and he's like, it could be this, could be this. And then bang, fetal position, finger in the ass.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy
And it wasn't even like, what's that?
And it worked? It went away?
Yeah, I was just like, no.
It didn't sound like he knew what to do. Pop.
No.
Oh, I'm good, doc.
Actually, yeah, I think that like my reputation is split among the doctors and shit. But this guy wasn't even like, hey, do you want your girlfriend in the room or not? He was just like, pull your pants down. Yeah, he scooped out a little bit and went away.
It was like the lion with a thorn in his paw.
Yeah, I'm like,
So wait a minute, he pulls out.
That's a kid's story. It's like the fat dude with the finger in his ass.
I don't get it. And it went away?
No, it didn't go away.
Okay.
No. He wanted to test for blood. And this time he said they did find it. They found like little trace amounts, but with the situation, he said it's completely normal. But they couldn't figure out why it was happening at first. So then I had to go get a chest x-ray and, they said they saw a shadow and, basically what happens, I guess, in this situation is like your esophagus ends and there's like the sphincter muscle, which I always thought was the asshole, and then your stomach. So what happened was, the end of the stomach got pushed up through the sphincter muscle into the esophagus and it closed.
Out of nowhere?
It was.
Had to be from all these tests. Probes and shit.
Yeah, I was just like, if you guys would keep your fingers out of my ass, this wouldn't have happened. It could have been from the bending over. Like he said, he wasn't sure how it happened, but that's what happened. And it closed on it. So now it's pinching, like, I guess something it shouldn't be pinching, the stomach muscle. And, so I think, like, it's starting to fade. Like, they gave me this concoction. They called it a green grasshopper, and it's like lidocaine and a couple other things, like, to numb. And they gave me Pepsid, like, through an IV, trying to, like, do anything to sort of, like, calm it down. And we sat there for 2 hours, and it's late, and, like, Suzanne has this hard chair, and, like, I kind of felt bad for her. I was like, you can leave. And she wouldn't leave. And then the nurse comes in and she says, okay, I just got to give you this. I said, what is it? She says, morphine. And it didn't look like a small amount either. It was like a pretty decent amount of
jackpot, bro.
Of morphine. And I was just like, well, I was like, are you sure it's supposed to go to me? Because I couldn't figure out why, because the pain had subsided. But I guess he thought that it wasn't going to subside enough. So he gave me the morphine. But for the next, like, hour and a half, 2 hours, it's like, you're like, all right, being in the hospital's not so bad. Like, whatever,
That chair, Suzanne, then look comfortable.
But, right. But, so the doctor comes in and he's like, I'm going to admit you. So now I got to go upstairs. They got to get a room ready. So I'm sitting in the bed and I'm trying to go to sleep, and the doctor was nice enough to like drag another bed into the room so Suzanne could lay down, because up to that point she'd been on the chair and laying on the floor. And they come in and they take your blood periodically and do your vitals and shit. So this lady comes in and wakes me up, and she's like twisting the IV thing because the first lady didn't really put it in right. And I was like annoyed by it because I was like, ow. And I like pulled my hand away. I was like, come on. And she's like, oh, I'm trying to do this or that, And I don't know why this happened, because this was really strange. And I don't know if it was like I was on some sort of like twilight or it was the morphine or whatever. But I had something attached to my finger on this side for like pulse, right? And on this side I had an IV. I had like 6 or 7 like heart things like on my chest. And and I have to go to the bathroom. And I sit up and Suzanne's like, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? And I screamed at her. I'm like, I'm sick of having all these motherfucking wires attached to me. And she starts crying like right away. And, I hear people like, and it's weird because I don't feel like it's me. I feel like I'm almost listening to this.
Right.
And I hear somebody go, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, what's going on in there? And this guy pulls back the curtain. It's like an orderly type. And he goes, what's going on in here? And I'm like, what's going on is I want to take a fucking piss. And I got all this fucking shit attached to me. And then like, he goes, all right. He's like, you can go to the bathroom. And then like that, I was out of it. And I was like, whoa, like what? I had no idea why I was screaming. I had no idea why, because that's
had to be the medication.
I guess so. Yeah. It had to be because I would never ever do that. And
you would never yell at
other
Suzanne
guys
ever.
were coming. Well, that part I would do. Any chance to get morphine, I do that
you
too.
Never yell at a muscular orderly, though.
Yeah, not the black guy though. It's like, what'd you say, motherfucker? You want to take a piss? You piss your pants, bitch.
Okay.
What do you say, Suzanne? You heard him. You piss your pants too. But I was just like, and then I couldn't have been apologetic enough. I was like, I'm sorry. I don't know why I yelled. I really did. Like, I had no idea why I started doing it. And it like, I kind of snapped out of it. But then like, there were a couple of nurses, they were like, so like 5 minutes after it happened, some bitchy nurse pops her head in and she's like, there's a pregnant woman next door. You have to keep it down. I was like, shut the fuck up, asshole.
Don't do it. Well, come on, man. What? You don't want to be taken to task for fucking...
But they don't know what my problem is. It's like,
what if
put him in a fucking psych ward, sounds like.
Not after 5 minutes of silence. There's no point.
Yeah. It's like it had calmed down and I had apologized to those who needed to be apologized to.
Like fucking, like a baby and a pregnant woman is anything special anymore. Let's all fucking calm down.
She brought that on herself. I'm sitting here with some sort of fucking pinched stomach muscle.
Exactly.
It's just, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. I'm down with that.
Yeah. That's her fault.
Oh, you're having a baby. Yay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're fucking one of a kind.
The miracle of life again. Yeah. Look at it. It's a fucking miracle.
I'm amazed. So I got to go up to the room. They put me in the room and I'm there for a couple hours. And my roommate is a fucking dude who will not stop turning up his hearing aid so that it's squealing. Turns it up, squeal. Somebody comes in like, gotta turn it down. Turns it down. As soon as they leave, whoop, go right back up. So fucking irritating.
You're like, I'm pregnant. Keep that shit down.
And then the guy goes to the bathroom, and I guess he's not supposed to go to the bathroom by himself. So he like takes off whatever shit he has attached to him. So they come in and they're like banging on the door. They're like, hey, what are you doing in there? What are you doing in there? And he's like, I'm going to the bathroom. But he has this weird voice. He almost sounds like, I'd fuck me. Like he has this weird, like Buffalo Bill type voice. And he's just like, I'm going to the bathroom, he says. And they're like, all right, well, you're going to have to come out. And he's like, well, I'm done. And then the lady leaves the room for a second. As soon as she leaves, he comes in. And I hear like crashing, like I guess he fell into like the dresser and then the dresser fell over. It's so fucking loud. She comes running in and she goes, what are you doing? Where's your gown? She goes, And he goes, I don't want to wear it anymore. And
So he's naked.
he's totally naked. I can't see because my curtain's pulled back. And she's like, you got to put something on. And he goes, then he starts crying and he goes, I just want to cover myself.
He sounds like you.
Yeah.
I don't want to wear a gown.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why I
5 minutes later, I was just like, there's other sick people around here. Pop my head in. So then, I went downstairs and I took a stress test, like they check your heart and shit. They, like almost every test was aimed at like, did he have a heart attack, like a mild heart attack? Is he on the verge of having a heart attack? And it was no. Like, your heart's perfect, your heart's fine. It was that stomach thing. And they said that when they took the chest x-ray that they could see the shadow of the
bunched
hernia.
up, yeah.
And he said that's very unusual, that they're that big that you can see the shadow. That's what the doctor said anyway. So, but I got sent home. And went home and watched the Super Bowl.
The idiot tube.
Doing some
Or idiot tube.
I had to do some manly shit. Like, I got home and I watched a little bit of a basketball game and watched the Super Bowl and capped it off with a fucking appearance by Little Johnson.
Oh,
Finally fucking made his
That's
way
right.
back.
He made his way back.
Welcome back.
Although I had Suzanne wear a fucking white robe and like one of those doctor's reflector things on her head. I was like, put it in my ass. Do you remember there was that guy, Walt, in high school? There was a guy that we heard a rumor that he would take like a big pen and shove it up his ass and then just ask his girlfriend. It was like he would go, just move it a little.
It was a certain pen.
That
Too.
is
Just move it a
It was
little.
a red pen.
It was the pen. Yeah.
It had to be the red pen.
Whatever works, man.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
But by that point, by the next day, all the pain was gone and I guess it had receded and shit. But now I definitely have to go in and swallow this little pill-sized camera to like look around.
Did you find that it has a wire attached to it? Did you ask?
I still didn't. No, I have the appointment next week. I'm not sure what day it is. What's
I'm
that?
pretty sure they're wire.
They're remote. They'll take pictures like all the way down, store them, and then you.
But they have a string on it or no?
No.
Oh, okay. They see a copy of Red State in there that I tried to smuggle.
Wow.
But yeah, holy shit, the last thing in the world. And I mean, for those like from 10 to 12 before I went to the hospital, I was like, I just don't want to go. I don't want to fucking go back. And like, what if I go and it's gas? Like, they're like, well, why don't you try farting, and it'll be all right. And I was like, what if I get, and I was like, you know what? On the way there, I was like, I hope it is gas. Cause if it was gas and it's just like, bang, you're done and you might look like, all right, puss boy. Like, you don't have to call 911.
You know what? Your health is going to be rapidly improving, so this shit's almost behind you, bro.
One of the guys in the ambulance, I don't remember if you remember that little kid, Ray, from the wreck. I remember, you know who I'm talking about? He's on the first aid squad. And now you don't know? Yeah, he took care of me. It's weird, like, like a wreck kid. And I always feel bad for those guys, like, when they have to lift someone as heavy as me, on that
If it was a wreck
thing.
kid who had to fucking dig into your ass, would you be able to do it?
Like, on the way there, he's like...
No, the doctor comes in and it's Ray. Ray's
It's
the
Dr.
doctor.
Ray?
Yeah.
I mean, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Request a different doctor, I guess. Or I'm like, I'll do it. Suzanne, get over here.
Get that big pen.
Yeah. Just move it a little. Rich in disease, poor in everything else.
Didn't you ask for white blood?
Calvin's dead. You don't love me. Shut